mindfulness. I'm just going to list a couple of the steps in regards to practicing gratitude and appreciation of self-care. What is essential or essential components to your self-care? 'Cause again, the language of self-care is large, and the most, or some of us will do, is probably go get our nails done and our feet done, and we call that self-care. Our aha moment or woosah moment, we call that self-care. Just adding to what the practices of self-care is: one, practice self-reflection. Take the time to regularly reflect on your strengths, your accomplishments, and positive qualities. Acknowledge the challenges you've overcome and the progress you've made. Two, here we go. Keep a gratitude journal. Keep a gratitude journal, which means dedicate a journal or notebook to write down things you're grateful for, including aspects of yourself that you appreciate. This could range from personal traits to experiences that have shaped you positively. Okay. And another one, point three, would be engage in self care activities. And I would ask you, what would be, and for those that's in the chat, what would be your self care activities? Well, if you don't mind listing, what would be your self care activities? Would it just be doing your nails, getting your hair done, getting your nails done? What would be your self care activities? What would you like to add to your self care activities? And what do your self care activities look like? So your self-care activities means to prioritize your activities. Take the time for you, 20, 30, 45 minutes to an hour, or even several hours. Prioritize your activities. Nurture your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. What does that look like? For me, sometimes I just like to either burn a candle and listen to some soft music, either jazz or something like that, while I'm quiet, but I'm still meditating, and either I'm writing, or that's my moment to type, to journal my thoughts, or I allow my imagination to run while I go into a place of creativity, and that's where you're in that space of daydreaming again, where you're carefree. Do you allow your thoughts to be run wild, or be carefree? When was the last time you were in a place where you just imagine, where you think, or you're just daydreaming? When was the last time? Sometimes it comes when I don't know, especially when I'm driving. My kids get so upset with me. Mom, I go, what? You're daydreaming while you're driving. I said, I'm sorry. That's the seer in me. But when was the last time you daydreamed to put where you allow your mind to run wild? You're creative. When I was younger, I used to always be in art. I played sports, but I did art competition. I was always drawing. I was always sketching, and I win all these trophies. So here it is now. I'm thinking, I want to go back to drawing again, going back to sketching again, going back to painting. Why is in those creative moments where your mind of creativity is now running, you're able to be fluid, and now you're thinking, processing, and you're getting brain hacks or brain dumps, and you're tapping into the essence of you. Now you're in a place of solace, meditative, you're quiet, you could hear your inner thoughts, and now you have free flowing inner thoughts without the stress. And now you could breathe, and drinking a cup of coffee, or drink a cup of tea, or, oh, let me try this, this flavor today, or, what do you do? Sometimes I used to just drive, just go down the street, go to McDonald's to get some coffee, and just sit in the car, or just sit in my favorite place, Starbucks, for a couple of hours, because that's a home away from home. And that was my way to smell the coffee, debunk, be in a place where everybody is chatting out laptop, everybody's doing what they're doing. But that was my place for fresh air, and to be able to sip on my coffee and just breathe. What are your self-care moments? How do you go about planning? And that's me telling them, no, 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 this is my time. I just need 5 minutes, a couple of minutes of my time. So what are your self-care moments, and how do you prioritize them? Do you have one? Do you have self-care practices? And what does it look like? Okay. So this could include exercise and meditation, spending time in nature, or engaging in hobbies and interests that brings you joy. Okay. Surround yourself with positive influence. Surround yourself with positive influence, who will uplift you, support you, and limit exposure to negative influence. Another word that's so loose on today is that's so when I'm saying careful is like they call it oh, they're toxic. Everything is they're toxic. They're toxic. Don't go over to they're toxic. So limit exposure to negative or toxic influence that will undermine your self-worth. Okay. Challenge negative self-talk. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. Pay attention to your inner dialogue and challenge negative self talk. Replace self criticism and affirmation and positive messages. Okay. And I would say one more, establish healthy boundaries.
Mm, yes.
Establish healthy boundaries. Do you know how to say no? Do you know how to say no without feeling guilty? Do you know how to
Yes.
say no without, oh my gosh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh my God, I don't know. So now here it is, you find yourself doing the very thing that you don't want to do. How do you
Mm-hmm.
set your boundaries? How do you establish healthy boundaries? And to the point where in your relationships and in your commitment, that when you say no and you're not doing it, that you are at peace, total peace with yourself. It doesn't affect you. You don't feel guilty for making that decision. You're not angry. You're not frustrated because you have hurt somebody else. And so prioritize, here it is right here. Prioritize your needs and well-beings over others at times. Prioritize your needs and well-beings over others. Do you know how to do that? At times, you don't mind. I'm talking to those that are selfless. You will give and give and give and give until you have nothing left to give. But prioritize your needs and well-being, and don't hesitate to say no to things that drains your energy,
Yes.
or
Yes.
distract you from your self
Mm.
care. One more, cultivate mindfulness by being present in the moment, because you could be in a place, baby, and you are over there, you are like Elvis, you left the building. Okay, cultivate mindfulness. Cultivate mindfulness by being present in the moment and accepting the beauty, embracing the beauty and the goodness around you. Because a lot of us could be in some spaces and still don't see, like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Oh my God, you don't see the beauty. You don't acknowledge the beauty. You don't see the goodness around you. So mindfulness can help you develop a deeper sense of gratitude for yourself and your life. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Lovella, before I do the recap.
You said something very important.
Anything you'd like to add to it?
How to learn how to say no. That's a lot. That's one thing that many of us struggle with. And yesterday you were talking about too, Dr. Lovella, about watch your words. Those are really, I think it goes, hand to hand with. I really personally think that's one thing that I should really continue to work on. It's really, to say that the power of saying no, because there's power of saying no, and also watching, our word. That's very, very important for us for self care.
Yeah. And even in the power of saying no, you could say, I'm not able to do that portion, but I could do this. I might not be able to be
Right.
there at 3, but I'm available at 6. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so saying no based on what you could do. Sometimes we stretch ourselves so thin that we don't have energy for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it's like working on a job, and you give them all your time, and you're doing, and then you're going from your job, then you're going to community. You got to take the kids to practice. You got to do something, and you're so involved in the community. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it's time for you to get to you now, for you to do
Mm-hmm.
your business plan, for you to get to
Yes.
your vision, you have no energy. And at that time, it's like
Mm-hmm.
you can't think clearly, you can't see clearly, you're tired. You're all of a sudden. I was telling someone the other day, and I said, like you're all of a sudden you're yarning like you go to church. You know when you go to church and they start preaching, all of a sudden I'm sleepy. You start reading the Bible, all of a sudden you're sleeping. So that's how you get. You start sleepy. You're yarning. You're already out. You're tapped out, and that's what happened is that you shut everything down and you walk away from your vision and this is what we do. I'll deal with it tomorrow, I'll deal with it another day, but in reality that other day comes 3 weeks, then it goes to 3 months, then it goes to 3 years, because we don't
Yes.
have the energy to pour into us. So
Mhm.
what we'll do is now unwind and we'll go get our nails done, our hair done, our feet done, whatever. That's our way of letting go of processing or doing self-care. There's nothing wrong with that. But self-care also includes in building you too. So I'm saying, yeah. So Coach Tina, you were saying?
Oh, I was just saying that that self care. I used to have trouble with that self care, trying to take care of Tina and not take care of everybody else. But you have to learn how to try to look out for yourself sometimes, because you, like you were saying, drain yourself. You tired. You can't. You leave out things that you have to do because you're too busy helping others. So you have to learn how to love on yourself and take that time out to do what's good for you. Whatever
Mm,
raise your mind, because you're not we got all kind of ideas, and and all the time we got to get along and to just take some time for ourselves sometimes, and that's important.
that's true.
Hmm.
That's true. And what does that look like?
It looks
Anybody
like,
in the chat would like to say, what does self care look like to you? You can add it to the
yeah.
chat. What does self care look like to you? You might say you might have to expand your self care. What does that
Yeah.
look
Hmm.
like to you? You know, um, because we get to the point where the first thing we do for some of us, the first thing we do is we pop up and we jump on Facebook. Mm. Self care
Hmm.
could very well be when you wake up. Not only do you drink some water,
Hmm.
but you read. Not only do
Hmm.
you pray, but you read, you get the mind going, or you turned on. For me, I'm into motivational speeches or whatever, and I'll start looking into YouTube, and that's how, so I have to, or read something to feed my soul, to feed my soul.
Hmm.
So upon waking up, and before you go to bed, what does that look like? I have something playing where of that. My daughter, her and I was talking, and she said, "Mom," and I said, "Well, send it to me." And so we send each other frequency music or whatever. Again, tapping into our data and our beta when it comes to our mindset or whatever, to be able to
Hmm.
not only to relax, but to be able to think and to be able to open our mind on different levels. So what does that look like? And somebody might say, well, maybe it's not all that deep. I would just go and say my prayer and do what I got to do. But again, we have some regimens, some poor
Mhm.
Hmm.
regimens, to the point where we can tend to get so comfortable. It's so easy. It's easy to get comfortable, but it's hard to break the cycle of comfortability when creating new norms. And for one, you could say, well, I travel, I get away and discover for self care. And I love traveling all the city and the country or whatever. So someone in the chat we're saying, Coach Janine,
In the chat, we have a
did you
coach
see it?
Janet saying self
Um,
care looks like taking personal time, assessing personal need, and working towards burying self hostility. That's very holistically. That's very true. Ah, Jemima. Okay. Yes.
holistically.
Yeah, and Jemima is
Yeah.
saying self-care for me it's
Mhm.
challenging. Just finding 5 to 10 minutes to myself. Yes, that one is very important.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
Activities besides prayer time. Awesome. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you so much. much for that. And you'll find if everybody have different regimen. Everybody have different. So, what would be your self care, Coach Janine?
My self care, it's definitely very similar to what Jemima just said. It's also take time for me because we just really accustomed to giving, 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 and sometimes I have to slow down and say, oh, okay, Janine, you have to be first. Like some me time, creating that me time, and that sometimes is like sometimes I can in the morning, but in the afternoon I can. So definitely creating some me time for me. Yeah, it's never like 45 minutes to an hour. It's like 5 minutes, 10
Mm,
minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
that's
And
true.
I love to listen to
That's so
music as
true.
well.
That's so true.
That,
And
that
before you
that's
know,
another one.
blessings, blessings.
Listening to music.
Oh gosh, I love listening to music and different types of music.
Mm-hmm.
And different types of music, the different genre.
Yes.
Yes, different types. That's another way of to be able to discover and learn the beat and the
Yes.
rhythm. Yes, love it, love it, love it. And so for those, again, thank you so much for putting in the chat. How do you what you think self care is when it comes to taking care of you or your personal care? And again, what I'm hearing is that even with self care, it also resets. It resets because remember we're changing and our body is changing. So therefore, what we could have done or we do in our another version of ourselves, based on now that your workload is heavier, you have more on your plate, and now you have a much more busier life. Well, how would you implement that self care? And what would that self care do? And because we have women that's living a very, very busy life, they might find that they're basically on the road, they're putting in that playing something in order be able to for them to get feed or fed for that day. Some people might not be able to go to church because of their what I'm saying, because of their work schedule. So that's their spiritual food, so which means they have to reset it during the week. So it just depends on the busyness of your schedule when it comes to self-care, because we could lock in time slots for self-care, but if we don't exercise gratitude and appreciation while in self-care for oneself, and we have to also remember it's an ongoing practice that requires patience and self-compassion. So therefore, cultivate gratitude. What does that look like? Cultivate appreciation. And then what does that look like? So we may continue to embrace our vulnerabilities. Here it is again. Embrace your vulnerabilities. Embrace what your vulnerabilities is, what you might call your weakness or your weak points. But um, embrace yourself in totality, flaws and all, what you don't like from what you don't like. Say my nose is big, I got my hair is this, whatever you're picking apart of yourself, you're devaluing yourself and you're not realizing you're doing that. So embrace yourself in the totality of your being. Lean into your discomfort. Lean into it, because what we tend to do is push it away. We push it and we disconnect it from us or the being of us because we do not want that to be associated to us. So lean into your discomfort and cultivate a spirit of resilience. Okay? Lean into it. The same thing you don't like, lean, totally lean into it. Cultivate a spirit of resilience. And in all we do and in all you do, remember that within each and every one of us lies the power to rise strong. Remember,
Yes.
another cliche word that we hear is a cliche is rise above, but
Mm-hmm.
rise strong to face our
Mm-hmm.
challenges with what courage. So from chapter one, but from per sessions that we've been talking, we have been giving you the tools and resources, and also telling you, bringing it to you daily, that we are to face our challenges, whether we like it or not, and that what comes
Mhm.
as a obstacle Once we face it, it will give us courage. It will give us our compassion. It will also allow us to maneuver with grace, 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 to the point
Yes.
where what we're agonizing over, and even our weaknesses or what at in that point where we think that we have fallen or we have failed, the Father will cover us so graciously what we're going through. But they will see our strength, they will see our grace, they will see when you emerge, come out up of, they will see when you come out of the depths of your adversity, they will see not only your strength, but just again, the echo of what your storytelling will bring strength. It will stir them. It will activate them. It will now help them to maneuver because you're sharing your testament, your
Mhm.
testimony, your story. Your story has power for those that don't want to share, for those that are like, I don't want to tell nobody what's going on with me. I don't want them to hear what's going on with me. Your story has power. Your story will ignite. Your story will empower. Your story will unlock. Your story will activate, and it'll also break down the barriers that one is dealing with. You will also help another woman to be able to face a new chapter, turn
Mhm.
the page into the new chapter of their journey. So you have to be able to share, allow one to get into the depths of you, allow them to see your transparency. You might feel naked. Oh my gosh, everybody. No, allow them to see you at your lowest point while you are now maneuvering, coming up, rising strong. Now you're moving in the power of you, the power of your being. And when they see you going through those stages based on your experiences and you sharing your testimony again, remember, you will cause them or allow them to turn the pages of their life, turn the page, and also go into the next chapter. What does that look like? Because we could turn the page, but do we go into the next chapter? We say that we're turning over a new leaf, but are we really turning over a new leaf? And what does it look like?
Mhm.
Because if we're turning over a new leaf, you know, they say, I can forgive you, but I can't forget. When you are turning over a new leaf, you're moving on beyond the situation. You're moving on beyond the event. You're moving on beyond the memory of what happened. You're moving on beyond the time and time which brought the pain, which brought the wound. So you have to move on. Close the door, if you will. Cut the string, if you will. And I'm hearing this. Even in this moving on into your next journey, a lot of us don't know how to close the chapter on some things. And so you have to learn to close the chapter, close the door, bring closure, bring closure. A lot of us don't know how to bring closure. We know how to exist. We know how to move on. We know how to press on. Yeah, you're saying, well, I got it going on, or I'm okay, I'm okay. And you keep moving forward.
Mhm.
But did you bring closure
Mhm.
Mhm.
to that last scenario? Did you bring closure? Did you cut the strings at the, you know how we say, I'm not dealing with that again. You vocally said you're not dealing with that again, but did you bring closure? And how did you bring closure? How did you do it? Because think about it, we will distance ourselves, but not close the door. We will distance ourselves and say, well, if I'm not talking, if I'm not in this association, well, I'm done. Not really. You're not truly done. Because truly, when you're done, you'll confront the situation and you'll close the door. Some doors closes on its own. And sometimes
Mhm.
you don't bring the closure. They will bring the closure to you. But you not
Mhm.
doing nothing about it doesn't mean that it's over.
Mhm.
So how you know it's not over? When it get triggered, or you get triggered, you'll start talking about it. That happened 6 months to a year ago, but there you go talking about it like it just happened just yesterday. You never brought closure to yourself. So that door keeps swinging open until the wound gets punctured, so the
Mhm.
memory gets triggered, and you keep going back to that place of pain, to that agonizing space. This is how we do it. Giving a different example or scenario. You know, when you're young and you break up with for those that's single and you break up with your boo, but you still go on to his Facebook page. Let me see what he doing. Let me see what they doing. You know how to do it? The young folks do it all the time. Let me see.
Mhm.
Let me see what they're
Mhm.
doing. Oh, I can't believe he's such and such. Well, this is a. I thought you broke up with him. I did. But why is it that you're so emotionally involved? Well, I just, said, I said, do you not know that? And it does it to us. So we do it all the time. Every time you go, you look, you pee, and you spend time hoping or you rehash something. The memory comes back like a flood. The wounds comes back fresh. It's punctured. And so we've done it over time, whether it's through relationships, us being burnt, us being deceived, us being dealing with a relationship, a loved one on the job, whatever we had to deal with, or a family member. And if we didn't close or bring closure to it, what do? It'll go over and like a narrative. It'll do a replay in our mind, a narrative, and keeps going in our mind, and it goes to our heart, and it goes to our soul. It keeps replaying. So it's never closed. There's no closure there. And guess what? It will revisit the pain once it's triggered. It's going to revisit every season of your life, even into your
Mhm.
marriage, into your adulthood, until you close that door. Once it's triggered by your memory, Peter gonna have to pay for Paul,
Mhm.
and Mary gonna get it for Sue, because there was no closure. We have got
Mm.
to bring closure. What does that look like? Bringing closure, closing the door. And so make a commitment yet, or step a commitment to embrace your inner strength and in all aspects of your lives. Therefore, embrace your power, rising strong, and discover the truth within you. Discover your truth, not what they told you you're not going to be, not what they said that you are going to be, but discover
Right.
your truth in the depths of you, in the depths of your heart, the depths of your soul, in the depths of your core. Develop, know your truth, okay? As you are discovering who you are. And once you know your truth, you will, I'm telling you, you will not walk in it will not, you will break limited beliefs. You will break, when I said, and dismantle and cast down the thoughts of doubt and fear and resentment. And once you start tapping into the depths of you, okay, I'll put it this way: your greatest war is you versus yourself, your inner battle.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
don't care what man say. I don't care what they. I don't care how you bring it. I don't care if they come in with. Your greatest war is you versus yourself.
Mhm.
Yes.
So if you tap into you, then you'll learn the more truth about yourself. Then you will be able to go from potential to now walking into potency. Tap into the power of you by learning the truth of yourself. Coach Tina,
I was gonna say, self care. I practiced that self care today. I went walking today, and I always go started walking, and then I stop. You know that's that mindset. Got to keep working on that mindset because that I go walking and I stop. So I have potential to stay walking and lose this weight, but
which
then I back off. So it's all in the mind. So I have to fix my mind so that I won't slack
when
anymore and I keep going forward.
you went walking today,
Yeah, walking today.
go Coach
That was my self
Tina,
care for
you
today.
hit the block. Oh, get it,
Um,
get it. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah,
I hear you. I hear you. Good for you.
yeah,
Good for you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, you're
yeah.
trying to work on that summer body. I see you. That's okay. That's
No, none
okay.
of somebody.
Hmm.
I got, I
Okay.
got,
That's
I got,
okay.
I
You
got,
still have time.
I got, I got to get off of these.
I understand. Whatever it takes.
see the
I
beat.
understand.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Understand.
yeah.
I understand. Mhm. I
That's that self
understand.
care.
What
That's
about you,
that self
Janine? What'd
care.
you do today?
Actually, you know what? Because you know what you were saying. I
What
started
did
like
you?
last week. Like I used to do at night, the walking, just around,
Uh-huh.
around the block. I used to do at night, but now sometimes I was like, you know what? By the time I go to bed, I'm so exhausted. So I reverse. I start doing early in the morning.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I started last week, and it's going good. It's going good.
Yeah.
Of course, you feel like your body is sore, but again, I just keep going. Uh-huh.
Hmm. Yeah.
And of course, I listen to my music, and I'm going, and
My
yeah,
sister does that. When
that's
she,
what it is.
Mhm. My sister does that. When she walks, she gets energized. And I told her, I said, when
Yeah.
I walk, I wind down, I
Hmm.
relax.
Oh, okay.
But for her, she
Okay.
speeds up. And for me,
Yeah.
I wind down and I relax, you know. So
Hmm.
so everybody, it's different. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
different when
different.
it comes to
Yeah.
Mhm.
based on exercising or whatever. That's good. That's good. We
Yeah.
have some more comments in the from potential to potency. Yes. And
Mhm.
oh yes, we gotta cut those soul ties. We gotta cut it. But make sure you're ready to cut those soul ties, baby. Make sure you're ready to cut those soul ties. Make
Hmm.
sure. And you could say, well, I'm ready to cut it. I understand. And there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that. But the thing about it is, you're cutting it at the root, and the thing, you're cutting at the root, and you're moving forward. You're stepping forward by cutting these soul ties. And the thing about it is, then the soul ties try to attach itself to you. Sometimes you're not the one doing the connecting. The people are connecting to you. But we have to realize, soul ties are through friendships. Soul ties are through relationships, even on the some say there's even an exchange on the job. It don't always
Hmm.
have to be, as long as there is a frequency exchange and a synergistic, transcendent conversation between minds and intellect. It don't that mhm. That is the first intimate intertwining intimacy part, conversational wise. It don't have to be through sex for soul ties, but as long as there's a stimulative conversation, and we're
Hmm.
going back and forth, you see what I'm saying, that and
Yeah.
we're connecting, we learn from each other.
Mhm.
There's an exchange, there's an exchange. So when I said make sure, what I'm saying is that take the time to learn your opponent. If
Mhm.
we're talking about relationship wise, take the
Hmm.
time um, to study what comes when it comes to soul ties, because again, we have some narcissist traits,
Hmm.
and what will come to make, I'll put it this way, whatever comes for you to bow.
Mhm.
Study what comes for you to bow, to come down off your high place, to come down from your throne, for you to give up, give up everything, your inheritance, to yield to him and or that. So when you're cutting and you're cutting away, assess and learn your opponent, because it will show itself again. I don't know why I went there, but it will show itself again. Mhm.
Hmm.
Long as you're a powerful, strong, they'll say stubborn, strong woman, thinking woman, oh, you're too, they say you're too much, you're too independent, or
Yeah.
you're too, so because, based on control. We're talking about learning and tapping into who you are, and you'll learn why they say stubborn, but in reality, you know that and and when you have something, you're holding on to it, and that's why they say you're stubborn. No, you just don't know how to let go, because once you believe it, you're going to hold on to it until it's manifested. Some people don't know what a fight looks like besides the swinging. Some people don't know what thriving or and I said power look like, or you're holding on to your intuition. The first thing they say is, oh, you're just being stubborn. But some people are built like that. Once they see it, and they're not going to let go until it manifests. And we
Hmm.
should we all have a piece in us. We're not going to let go until that dream manifests. So we were talking about tonight, just for those that are listening and that will be tuning in, nurturing self gratitude and appreciation. Nurturing self gratitude and appreciation, and it's one thing to be appreciative, but how do you express your gratitude daily? I'm not talking about when you're saying your prayers to the Almighty, but how do you express your gratitude daily? Coach Tina, Coach Janine, I
I
turn over to you.
okay. I was gonna just say, I guess, practicing self gratitude too, because you have to be proud of yourself too. Things that you accomplished, things you put forth, and you done achieved. You ought to. It's not actually boasting to me. Is if you actually have
Mm-hmm.
gratitude for what has happened in your life, what has transpired in your life that you're proud of. That you might not have got there if you hadn't had a different mindset, if
Mm-hmm.
you had a
Come
different thought
on.
process, or actually did the work. Because
Come
sometimes people
on.
have thoughts and don't even put in the
Mm.
work, so they don't ever get there, and they
Come
think
on.
it's something holding them back, but it's actually their mind. Their mind is holding them back because, like you said, it's
Come on.
you. So what you got holding you
Mhm.
back?
Come
What's
on.
in you that's making you hold? What's holding you back?
Good one. That's a good one. That's a good question. Good one. What's holding you back? What's holding you back? That's good, Coach Tina.
Hmm.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
On the table, what's holding
yeah,
you back? No, and we're not talking about if you had the money in place or whatever. We're talking about you personally. What is
yeah. That
holding
in that mind, what's
you
holding you back?
back? Mhm. Mm, mm. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's a good one. hmm And so, Coach Janine, I'm just leaving it up to you all to close. Any last words?
Yeah, if you can just no, you can just you know uh close us by the last word and close Tina, and we can encourage everybody to follow us and then purchase the book if you haven't. And tomorrow we're gonna meet again at 7 p.m.
hmm Okay. And don't forget, on the 22nd day, we're going to have the Zoom, the celebration for meeting us and being with us here daily. And if you're
Yeah.
were able to make it, we appreciate you and we would like to celebrate you. But that would be a segment, an open segment, if you will, where it's not going to be live. It's going to be in an intimate space where
Mm-hmm.
we'll be able to talk and share if you have questions. And
Mm-hmm.
at that point, the space is safe. If you like to cry and laugh and just get it off your chest, um, that space will be created for you and for the others. As on the 22nd, there I'm going to create the link and put it in there so you can start registering for us to be yet in that space. Is for bolder voices, a movement for women where we're coming together and share our heart and dive deep. And you might say,
Yeah.
look, I'm digging deep into some. Look, when you're digging deep into some things, sometimes you'll have those aha moments, or there are
Mm-hmm.
times when you have those deep moments. You just have to hold your chest and like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
who that hit because that was a deep moment, and like, oh my gosh, and this is where the reality keyword. This is where the reality come in. Oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
how did I miss that? I should have done this a long time ago. Why didn't I see that? This is where you start beating up on yourself because now you have eyes to see, and now you're dealing with present day reality, and now you're like, oh my God, to the point where you're dumbfounded. Oh my God! But how do you go from that oh my God moment to the next place, to the next phase? And sometimes it hits you where you're sitting there, you're still trying to gather your breath, like, oh my God. I was so
Mm-hmm.
angry at God for this, but in reality, He saved me from that, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where the confessions start coming in, and you start telling God, "Thank you." I couldn't see it then, but you saved me.
Mm-hmm.
God, thank you. You covered me, but I didn't. And you're realizing that you've been carrying this emotion of anger and
Yes.
resentment. God, I thought you left me. I thought you, and I'm going to be real to somebody tonight. I thought you left me. I thought you abandoned me. I thought, where were you? But all this time
Mm-hmm.
you were there. I couldn't see you. And so you start looking back at moments like Coach Tina said, going back over the experiences of your life. And now you start praying differently because you see differently. And now you're going from appreciation to gratitude, like, thank you. Thank you. So, what are you thankful for? Someone says, Ria, yeah, what are you thankful for? Hmm. What are you appreciative for? What are you thankful for? So, take the time, like you said, to count your blessings and assess what are you thankful for. hmm Okay, Coach Tina.
Yes, that was Sunday. I had the pastor. I went to Usher annual, and he was saying recount your blessings, like you were saying. People talking about what this didn't happen for me, or this didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go, and then you have to look back and see like what all he has done, or what all has transpired in your life that you can be proud of, even through the bad. What he has kept you, so you just gotta dig deep and let whatever is in you that he's done birthed in you come out.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
So true. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So true.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point, again, don't forget to nurture moments of self-gratitude
Mm-hmm.
and appreciation. And just reminding you that your story matters and your voice deserves to be heard. You deserve to be heard. Okay. And that's it for me.
Okay,
Again, get the
Coach
book.
Denise.
We'll put the link in the book. Hashtag get the book.
Okay,
hmm
Coach Denise, close us out.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Lovella. Make sure that you watch the replay, you share this podcast with
You freezing.
tomorrow
hmm
7.
Well, I'll close us out. Which is just everyone
Okay, Coach
get
Tina,
your
you're going to
copy
close.
of the book.
Mm,
Get your copy of the book. And follow us on your Multi Global Network, and follow this movement because Dr. Lovella has been dropping some nuggets that I don't invite somebody to come and join you on the lives, and because this is good for anyone, all Black women, to come and see what we're doing. This is a movement, so come and see and join us. She has a group, Boulder's Voice. That's right, right at the right.
motivate. Mm,
Yeah, that's gonna do a recap and an intimate setting, so you're gonna be able to come in and talk about the things that we discussed through these 21 days on the 22nd day. So you need to stay tuned and join us on this in this movement. Coach Nee, you want to talk now?
But I want to correct. Well, I can say I can do this. That's my twin sister, Janima. It's not Dr. Loretta. It's Dr. Lovella. Well,
that's
I'm just
right.
messing up with her. Okay, well, it's good to have you. I mean, I want to celebrate those women who were here from day one. Thank you so much, including my twin sister Janima is always here. So it's good to have you back. Absolutely. I can
Yeah,
tease her. That's okay. She doesn't mind.
yeah,
She does the same thing to me. Trust me. She does the same, even more.
yeah.
I know. I
So
keep
close.
freezing. I know.
Well, come on. You gotta hurry up and talk before you freeze again. Come on, talk, talk, talk. Close us
No,
out.
I'm just want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody. And I will see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye. Good night. Au revoir. My goodness.